Paris was already known as the City of Lights back in the 1800s because of their network of gas street lamps. But when they began to implement public electric street lighting, it really surprised the world. You know, it really became the City of Lights. Tons of lights lighting this gorgeous, exciting city. Paris, La Cité de la Lumière is a board game that has to do with those lights and a couple of extra things, and I'll mention them. It is a game designed by José Antonio Abascal, and it's a thinky game, a two-player game. You really need to think and concentrate to succeed here. And aesthetically, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to play this game. The game has two phases. In phase number 1, you'll be placing these cute little cobblestone tiles onto this board. Yes, the board is the box. Look at the back of the box. You'll be playing the city of Paris is going to be right in there, the City of Lights. So during phase 1, you'll be placing these tiles on this board, you and your opponent. Now, you can place them anywhere. I'm putting them here on the corner because it's just easier for me to do it holding the game like this. So during the first phase, you will place a tile or pick up a building tile. Now you have to think about this. You can decide to pick up more buildings, but as you're doing that, your opponent may be setting up tiles on the board, and that's important. Well, gee, Alex, the tiles there have different colors. Yes, they do, because one player is blue, the other player is red. The purple areas of those tiles are neutral areas. And why is that important? It's important because during phase 2 of the game, when you are finally going to start placing your building tiles onto the board, you can only place a building on your color areas of the tile and neutral. So for instance, here on the bottom we have those two blues and that purple. Well, I can take, if I'm blue, I can take this piece here and place it right there, which would be nice because the street lamps are important. And if a street lamp is adjacent to your building, and in this case I have 2 street lamps adjacent to my building, I'm going to score more points that way. So that's phase 1 of the game. Placing tiles on the board and picking up buildings. In phase 2, and you're going to get a whole bunch of these cards. There's a bunch of them, but for each game you're only going to be using a few of them. So there's a lot of variability here. These postcards, these gorgeous postcards, have special abilities on them. So during phase 2 of the game, you will be placing your buildings onto the board, but also using the special abilities on these cards. Let me show you some of these cards. Aren't they beautiful? They're gorgeous cards. This is a beautiful game to play. Look at this. These are postcards. So let me go over a couple of these cards for you. So like I said, phase 2, you're going to be placing the buildings that you grabbed in phase 1, and you'll be using some of these special abilities. Here's one. If I put a little token here, this is important because at the end of the game, you might have building tiles that you grabbed during phase 1 that you weren't able to place on the board, because of position or strategy or whatever. Well, the buildings you have left over at the end of the game are going to count as points against you. So if you put your little token there, any buildings you have left in this special ability card will amount to 0, which can be valuable. In this card here, you have the painter. If you place your little token there, you can grab this painter and place this painter strategically on the board for him to score points for you. This one, for instance, is a purple tile, about the size of this here. And why is that important? Well, you might need to make space. You put your token there, you pick up that purple tile, and you drop that purple tile on top of the other tiles on the board to be able to make room for you to then maybe be able to place a building if you ran out of room. Another one is this Moulin Rouge here. If you place your token there, you grab this dancer, and again, you strategically place this dancer on the board to score you as many points as possible. Here's another one, which is an extension. The extensions are important because let's say you have this building here, but there's a street lamp over here. Well, your street lamps need to be adjacent to your building for you to be able to score points with the street lights. So having that little extension may just be enough to get you those points. This card here, if you put your token there, you grab this fountain tile, and again you place that fountain tile in a special place on the board to be able to score you as many points as possible. Paris, la Cité de la Lumière is a thinky two-player game. Like I said earlier, you're going to have to pay attention. You're going to have to think. But the rules, I mean, here's the instruction manual, and I love it because it looks like a little newspaper from Paris, you know, back in the old days. But it's easy. It's an easy game to understand. You'll read this one time, and I think you'll be ready to go. Here's the board, for instance. So as you place your buildings down, you're going to be placing these little wooden chimneys so that everybody knows who owns that building, right? So you place the building down. Here's the painter there. You know, so it's going to look like that at the end of the game, and then you'll count your score. But it's just an aesthetically beautiful game to play, but a very interesting game, a strategy game, where you have to think to be able to succeed, and it's just wonderful gameplay. It's a pleasure. I've played this game a number of times now, and it's just a joy to play. So Paris, la Cité de la Lumière, I definitely recommend it. I've been enjoying it, and it is a joy.